Hello everybody, welcome to Chulie's kitchen. This is the updated recipe for Sri Lankan hoppers using Maggi coconut milk powder instead of tin coconut milk. This is in response to the many inquiries I have had from my YouTube subscribers. So without further ado, let's start. I got half cup of warm water into which I'm going to add 3 rounded teaspoons of sugar. Give it a stir. Once all the sugar has dissolved, you add a rounded teaspoon of instant yeast. Okay. Rounded teaspoon of instant yeast into the hot water where the sugar has been dissolved. Give it a good stir. And you leave it to rise in a warm place until the yeast has nicely bubbled. Into the measuring jug, you add 16 level tablespoons of Maggi coconut milk powder. That's 10, and we add 6 more. That's 16 tablespoons of Maggi coconut milk powder, which comes to approximately 110 grams. Add 650 ml of hot water to the coconut powder. Stir it well and leave it aside. Just make sure that your yeast has risen, because if it has not, then it's no point proceeding with the rest of the ingredients because the hoppers will not work. I'm checking on the yeast and it has risen beautifully. So I'm ready to mix the yeast, the milk and the flour together now. I'm adding 2.5 cups of rice flour. And this is my half cup measure, okay? Half cup. So that is 2.5 cups of rice flour and 1 cup plain flour, which is American flour. Now I'm going to use my whisk and add the diluted coconut into the flour. Using the whisk, stir it nicely until you get rid of all the lumps. Now the batter looks quite smooth, and it's time for us to add the risen yeast. So this is the risen yeast. I'm going to add it to the flour mixture. Okay. Give it a good stir and do not add the salt because it could inhibit the rising of the batter. And this batter you need to cover with some cling wrap and keep it in a warm place to rise for about 3 hours. Depending on the temperature of your kitchen as well as the temperature where you are going to leave the bowl, the rising will occur. After 3 hours you will see lovely bubbles which would come to the surface. I shall close this with some cling wrap now. This batter can be made the previous night for use the next day, and also any leftover batter will stay in the fridge up to 4 days. It can also be frozen up to 1 month and it will keep very well. Only thing you need to remember is when you take the batter out from the fridge or the freezer, it needs to be left out until it reaches room temperature for about half an hour. As you could see, I'm going to open and show you the batter, how it has risen. You can see the bubbles. And this is after about 2.5 hours actually, because my kitchen is warm. So I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt now. 1.5, and give it a stir. And the next stage is we are going to take this near the cooker and start making the hoppers. The other ladle I'm going to use to take my batter, and as you can see the pans are heating up, and just to check if the pan has reached the right temperature, what you can do is you take a little bit of the batter and drop it, a few drops, to see if it's making a sizzling noise. If it is not, leave it for a little bit longer and then you'll be ready to make the hoppers. I'm going to check the other pan now. That looks okay and it's making a nice sizzling sound. So I'm going to start making my first hopper now. This should be the texture of the batter. It's not resisting when you drop it. So if it is too thick, you can always add just about 1/4 cup of any milk. If it's coconut milk or normal cow's milk, it doesn't matter. It should be fine. If the pan is smoking, just be patient and let it cool down just for a few seconds, because if not, the hopper can collapse and you will not get the crispy hopper. I'm making another one. This I'm going to make an egg hopper for you now. Always remember to stir the batter before you put a fresh hopper into the pan, because the rice flour can be slightly heavy, it can get sedimented to the bottom. That's my hopper ready made. And that's the egg hopper. Looks good, huh? These are the ready-made hoppers now. They can be served with fish curry, meat curry, sini sambal, pol sambal, kata sambal, anything. So everybody, do try out this recipe, and if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe, comment and leave a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed that, and have a nice day.